So in this video, I show the installation of the ground control coilovers on my E46 M3. It's all over the place, not a great tutorial, just kind of an overview of installing the parts and getting it to this ride height. I'm not sure, I think I did this 2 nights ago, but I kind of got like a little heat stroke or something and took a 2-day break. So I also got sway bar end links adjustable, which are not installed yet. This is the old, I'll show you guys how to remove that. Here's the other side installed. Got the OEM sway bar end link off. I was just taking some measurements in there. I'll show you how to set up everything and set zero preload on the adjustable sway bar end links on the OEM sway bar here with the coils on. So something I did forget to note about doing the front coilovers. So I went ahead and loosened up the top hat first. Got the top hat completely loose and then let the suspension kind of drop. So the arms all dropped, right? It was hanging and it seems like there's just barely not enough room to get the bottom of the strut out of the little retainer. There is enough room if you're not doing it by hand, and if you're not like sure if you're gonna damage anything, you won't damage anything. Just don't break your brake line, obviously, don't be stupid. But just I just used my foot on the rotor and just pushed it down and boom, it pops the front struts out, no problem, on my own in like 30 minutes one night at like midnight. So, I mean, pretty easy. All right, so here's the rear, about to do the rear. Going to take out I already did take out the 213s up here in the trunk. Normally you'd have to take out the carpet, but I took my carpet out because I'm a ricer. So just these 213s and then another 18 down below. I'll show you. Right here to pull the strut out. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. All right, here's what the rear looks like with that 18 mil out. If you are impacting it out like I did, be careful. This is gonna shoot down because then it's only got the spring on it. All right. So now, next step for me up here is to pull this protective boot off. And as soon as this boot comes off, it's gonna fall. So, yeah, I gotta be careful right here. Boom, there's both rears and both fronts, obviously. And I'm keeping them right, left, right, left. All right, I should have had that on camera, but I basically just grabbed the bottom here of the spring and pushed down with my foot exactly like this and yanked it out. So one side spring out. Dang, I should have been recording. I just gave it one good push down and I thought I was going to record my finger getting chopped off. That's why I wasn't filming. Boom, there's all the old stuff. Well, old, because as you could tell, the bushings are still good, and being in the desert, that means this stuff is pretty fresh. All right, this is going to be kind of interesting one-handed and sadly dirty-handed. But here's the weight jacks, the ground control weight jacks. This is actually the only part that's the weight jack. So essentially this is like a spring perch, like an articulating spring perch, so that the spring always stays evenly seated. Because as you can tell, that control arm experiences movement this way, and this spring perch will actually be able to deal with that. And this threaded part is for height adjustment. So that's probably going to be the longest part of this install, is figuring out the height on this. All right, so I can kind of show how to install the weight jacks. So the ground control weight jacks, as you can see, I have the height here raised about 1 inch up. Outside of the car, I just measured each side, raised it about 1 inch. Just wanted to see, use that as a reference point. Probably pretty much guaranteed too low, and then gonna raise it from there, but wanted to check it out. So then just the spring on top, and then this rubber cup. And I'll show you then when you bolt up the everything. Got the strut in, bolted up, and I put the reinforcement plate in, and here it is. It's just the weight's not settled, so once the weight settles, it'll straighten out and do its job there. So there's the rubber cup up in there, everything's sitting. So when this is really just waiting on the car's weight to sit on it to press everything together. All right, this side's put in. I can kind of show you how it works because the other side's not all the way put in yet. The weight jack in there, I have both sides out of the car. I adjusted them to 1 inch. I expect it to be too low to start, but I'll move from there. So as soon as the car's weight sits on it, it'll level that spring out. And I got this bolted up with the reinforcement plate in between. And I'll show you the other side, which only has the weight jack in here. So yeah. A little thing for doing this alone, since there's no studs here, it's an actual bolt, is you can hold it down with the duct tape. Alright, so I was in here adjusting the height, and I just pretty much put the spring at an 1/8 inch of preload, so I'm going to go in on both sides and just tighten up the collars, make sure they're good, nut and bolt everything on both sides, and then I'll put the wheels back on and put the front wheels on the car, put it down. I'm gonna need to raise the rear like a 1/2 inch, so I might do that tonight. I might not. We'll see. Alright, the fronts are good here. I'm just gonna raise the rear about a 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna go get an alignment and check back in after, show you guys the final stance, the final just how it looks then after the alignment, how it's gonna sit for a while. For adjusting height in the rear, all you have to do is get onto this weight jack with a wrench and give her a few turns. But here is the final ride height, what it looks like. Not bad.